Every 98 seconds, someone in the US is raped.
That means every single day more than 570 people experience sexual assault. These horrific numbers have to be talked about to help solve the problem.
The following stories are real and voiced by actors to protect their identities. Some viewers may find the stories upsetting.
I was 14 and in love. He was older and treated me well at first, but he started forcing me into things and hitting me if I said no. I moved away from my hometown to be with him. I moved schools only to come back months later.
I became a monster and I still couldn't leave him. He threw me down, raped me multiple times in the 6 months we were together. He was my first love. He cheated on me, he abused me, and he made me feel like I was nothing. I was mentally drained, scarred and affected. I screamed out in my sleep. I sleepwalked and tried to escape.
I cut myself in my sleep with razors. I cut myself while I was awake with blades. He really damaged me. Even after we broke up, he had a large following on Twitter and YouTube, and he would humiliate me both there while attending public events.
I was 14, I'm 17 now. I'm still struggling to trust men. I'm still struggling with flashbacks and suicidal thoughts. I moved 500 miles away. I started a new college, a new life. I had counselling at college.
I got my driving licence, I had a career planned out, and I'm moving on. Those new friends and new relationships made my past easier to forget because I'd never feel like I have to explain myself.
Please recognise the warning signs and tell someone about your situation. Don't be afraid to speak out about your abuse. Do not blame yourself, it is not your fault. It will never be your fault.
1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys will be sexually abused before they turn 18 years of age. According to this statistic, 3 of the girls and 1 of the boys in this documentary will have been through sexual abuse already.
It could be me.
Me.
And me.
But you will probably never know.
Because 88% of child sexual assault isn't reported.
It is estimated that 20% of males will experience some sort of sexual assault in their lifetime. In the UK, roughly 12,000 men are raped each year, and 70,000 experience some sort of sexual violence.
For many men, sexual abuse is shrouded by secrecy, due to the embarrassment of being misunderstood or being seen as weak.
This explains why so many men don't report sexual violence they have encountered.
If their perpetrator is also male, they may fear that their sexuality is assumed regardless of their sexual orientation.
And if the perpetrator is female, they're told they should have enjoyed it and to simply man up.
I'm a male who has been sexually abused. There has been 3 different times. It's difficult to tell if these are all sexual abuse or not as you tell yourself. It's not to cope or other people tell you you're being stupid.
The first was a girl who was 16 and I was 13. She pressured me into having intercourse with her and said nothing bad is going to happen because we didn't have protection.
I got attached and found out it was just so she could get back at her partner.
The second was this year and I was 18 still, and I would have flings with this Navy lad. He would always suggest intercourse, but I said no, and by this point he was on top of me without any clothes on, trying to do it to me. He was aggressive too, which made me the weaker person.
Finally, when I was working abroad, me and my friends went to the nearest town to drink on a night off. We came back and found some others who were drinking. They were all from Croatia and Puerto Rico. We were sat with them for some time until early in the morning. This one male was sat next to me and was saying, "You're so handsome, I'm sorry, I'm so drunk,"
and asking to kiss me whilst having his hand on my leg. I kept trying to get away, but he just kept saying these 3 things over and over until he said we should go somewhere to get Wi-Fi. But I knew exactly why he wanted me alone.
It was then, when I was asking my 2 other friends if we could leave, that I realised one of them couldn't even see because they were so drunk. We finally left, and I kept it in for a few days until I left the dining hall in tears and told my boss.
He was fired as a result, but I was hated by so many people.
My thought-to-be friend told me it's okay, he was in the wrong, but proceeded to message the person who did it, saying that I was fucking crazy.
So I thought I was being stupid and that my own head had made these things up, and I felt guilty for it. I coped by telling myself it's not that bad and that it could be worse. The only help I've had is from my friends, which isn't much, as I know some can only sympathise.
There are charities that are specifically targeted towards male victims, such as Survivors UK.
This charity's aim is to help male victims as well as their family and friends to help them cope with ongoing issues faced after and during sexual abuse.
The majority of sexual abuse reported links directly to domestic abuse in relationships. These cases are often overlooked and not taken seriously due to their perpetrator being their partner, therefore seen as their choice.
The victim often stays in a relationship and doesn't report any of the abuse they face because of the manipulation.
According to a national study, an estimated 2 million adults aged 16 to 59 experienced domestic abuse last year.
This accounts for 1.3 million women and just under 7,000 men.
Domestic abuse includes sexual, physical, mental and emotional abuse of all severities in a relationship, regardless of gender, race and sexuality.
When I was 16, I experienced physical and sexual assault during a relationship with my 17-year-old offender. I thought I was in love, but I guess I wasn't.
He told me I was a rebound, gone wrong. However, we were together 2 years. I felt like I couldn't leave the relationship due to him being so controlling. He would jump on my stomach, kick me, and push me down the stairs.
After he had hurt me, he would want me to have sex and said it would make me feel better. But I didn't want it, never wanted it, and feel sick from being physically hurt.
One time, I laughed at him and he strangled me till I couldn't breathe, and my vision went blurry. I felt like that was the end.
He locked his front door and I screamed as loud as I could, to which his 14-year-old brother did nothing and left him to it.
I had help from the doctors and was prescribed medication. I also went to iTalk, but I didn't find it helped me personally. I later got diagnosed with PTSD and now I flinch with everything.
Don't ever think it's okay.
4 out of 5 girls who have been sexually assaulted now suffer with mental health issues.
There are a variety of short and long-term effects as a result of sexual abuse.
Victims have an increased risk of developing depression, suicidal thoughts and tendencies, anxiety, eating disorders, substance use disorders, and most commonly PTSD.
I was in secondary school. The events occurred at lunchtime in a public place. The abuser was in my year group. He was my friend. A friend dared him to grope me. He offered him money to carry out the act. I was surrounded. My other friends when he forced himself on me, reaching around me and grasping at my privates.
I was in a large group and most people did not see. Those that did were friends of my assaulter and laughed. I backed away from the group. The same man lurked behind me and made attempts again to grasp me.
For the following weeks I became isolated. My friends sided with the assaulter and refused to speak up. I was intimidated into silence and I was threatened when word was heard that I was thinking of involving the police. I was violated and I was alone.
The school did nothing but put it down to boys will be boys. I am still disgusted at the incident and how it was handled.
This led me to lose faith in people around me and has since manifested into a diagnosis of PTSD. I can't trust people around me.
I flinch in physical pain at the most unexpected contact. It has impacted my life significantly. I've been under CAMS for years. They have helped me identify issues and deal with them. Do not let it define you.
According to the first statistic, roughly 7 people have been sexually assaulted by the time this video is over.
An estimated 99% of sexual assaults are unreported. Please don't be a part of this statistic.
This could be my story.
This could be her story.
This could be his story.
This is our story.